I've heard that life is what you make it. I say make room to grow. I'm your host, LaWanda Dockery, and this is the Make Room to Grow podcast. It all started with a dream about growing food, and who would ever imagine that growing food would lead to me learning about personal growth and development? Well, it did, and I want to bring you along for this beautiful ride. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Grow Nation. I hope this finds you well and getting ready to get into the garden on this beautiful weekend. I am excited, you guys. We are on our 45th episode. Woo! Thank you so much for all of your support. And this is Labor Day weekend. Oh my goodness, it's the unofficial end to the summer. Of course, it's not the end to our gardening, but I'm excited. I love this time of year. It's beautiful. The air is crisp. Skies are blue. These are great days to take good walks, curl up with a nice book, get a nice cup of hot coffee, or if you're a Starbucks head like me, a nice chai tea latte, and enjoy this weather. But that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you guys about the garden. So, what's going on in the garden here? So, we have our cayenne peppers that we have at least a couple dozen at this point. And I'm just letting them dry on the plant so that I can either make crushed red pepper or put together a good pepper sauce with it. Now we are waiting on our sweet potatoes. We planted those about 3 months ago when our original garden was wiped out. Our broccoli and original plants that we planted, we just went ahead and repurposed that area and we put in sweet potato slips. So they've been in for a good 3 months now. And we're hoping that, within the next month or so, we'd be able to harvest some sweet potatoes. So we're hoping for a nice, pleasant surprise underneath there. I also have some other plants like some dill and some romaine lettuce that I've been growing. As you know, I mentioned last time, I'm letting about 7 okra on 3 different plants dry on the vine because we're saving those seeds. My husband also has, we have a couple of new zucchini plants, a couple of new cucumber plants out in the raised bed. We also have okra out there. We have string beans. The older cucumber vines have died back, but we also have lots of peppers, cayenne, and jalapenos out there as well. We took up our tomato plants, and so we're just ready to convert over to just total greens for the fall, but that's been a process. So, last but not least, we have eggplant. I planted them a couple of months ago just to get some good seedlings going. And I put them in maybe 1 month ago, a month and a half ago into the grow bag that was free. And guys, I have a bloom. I have one bloom that looks like it may have been pollinated. And then I have another bloom that looks like it's forming into a bloom. And I'm so excited. And I want to talk to you today about late bloomers. This eggplant is my late bloomer. Now, I don't want to go as far as to act like I have the eggplant just yet because I don't. But I do know that the bloom was pollinated. This is a Black Beauty eggplant, and I got the seeds from Baker Creek, who they just have a huge selection of all types of rare seeds and heirloom seeds that you have to check them out. They're on rareseeds.com. And again, like I said, I planted this seedling maybe a couple of months ago. It's just been sitting in a solo cup and I had a free space and I said, why not? Let's see if we get something. Now, the thing about what I'm calling late bloomers, and I've mentioned this before, is that you'll have a plant and it'll seem like it's not doing much, and it'll even put off flowers and maybe you don't get fruit. But you have to give it time to build up the structure to be able to hold the fruit. So we'll see the blooms, we'll see the leaves growing. It'll seem like it's not really doing anything, but you figure it needs something to hold the fruit. Think of an eggplant. Unless it has a structure to really hold the eggplant, you don't want a little flimsy seedling trying to put off fruit and it's too little. So some of these things take time to really build up the proper stems and the proper branches and the foliage to hold the fruit that you ultimately will get. Same thing with your cucumbers. They vine out, but the vines need to take time to grow. You have your corn, the stalks need to take time to grow. So just think of your plants in those terms. Give it time to mature to be able to hold the actual fruit that you ultimately will get. But this is a really pleasant surprise in terms of a late bloomer, and I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch or my eggs before they hatch, whatever the saying is. But I'm excited about this because I've never grown an eggplant. I've only eaten it a couple times in life. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's exciting to grow. And each thing that I'm trying that's new gives me a new thing that I've experienced that I can share with you guys. But in light of being a late bloomer, these eggplants in my garden, are you a late bloomer? Do you consider yourself to have potential that maybe you've not tapped into yet? Maybe you've not seen the fruit of it. Maybe there were things that you thought of earlier in life that you let go of because you've not seen it come to fruition yet. Could it be that you are growing the proper infrastructure, that you need to get the proper roots and the proper branches in place? Maybe it's just a matter of your foundation. Maybe it's a matter of what God is doing in you to be able to bear fruit, to be able to hold the fruit that you bear. Look at it that way. Sometimes we have things that seem to be deferred or put off or delayed or hindered in our lives. And I'm just wondering, are you a late bloomer? I know there are things in my life that I've been a late bloomer, and I got married at 40, 41. That was a late bloom. But God had to do a work in me and in my husband to be able to handle the fruit of marriage. We probably couldn't handle that earlier in life. So God has a way of working things out. I just wanted to give you that thing to chew on. Also consider this. If we never moved the eggplants from the solo cups into the grow bags, it never would have had a chance to grow. Until next time, I want you to be intentional about those areas in your life where you are going to make room to grow.